Hello. Looky here. We've got some early birds in the house. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Let me know in case you can't hear me properly or if there's any issue with the sound. Please just enter 9 to let me know that the sound is working well. You can enter that in the chat section. Awesome, Catherine McKenna. Lillian, I see you here. Nice, good stuff. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. So, I see we are early today, but there are some poll questions. So if you could answer the poll questions, just familiarize yourself with the platform if this is your first time. If it's not, don't worry about it. I'll direct you. There's a section for poll questions. So there are 2 questions. One, whether you've ever paid for Facebook ads before. And 2, where do you mostly share information about your business? So is it Facebook? Is it Instagram, WhatsApp, flyer distribution, physical flyer distribution? Maybe you don't promote your business. Maybe TV, you do media, or any other way. You could just select the option that works for you, the option that's true for you. So I am so glad we've got sound working, and I'm so glad that I'm seeing the poll activity. So I can see a number of you, most of you do Facebook. Interesting. I'm glad, because then you're in the right place for what I'm going to be showing you today, how you can actually do that more efficiently. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And as we get more people to sign up, the sun is really beautiful today. So I've kind of positioned differently so I can take advantage of some vitamin D. And it's a beautiful day in Nairobi. You wouldn't believe it's June, because usually June in Nairobi is cold, like coldish, but it's hot and it's really nice and warm. So we're very lucky that even if we're going through everything we're going through, that the sun is out and we get the beautiful warm rays, and that's good for your health and your mental state as well. Don't ever take that for granted. So if you've just joined us, please introduce yourself in the chat section. I see we have quite a number of people who've come in. So just tell us what it is that you do in the chat section, and include a handle or a link to your Facebook page or your Instagram page, or something that people can actually click and look at. Perhaps your customers are actually here. Your customers could actually be here. So put a link to your page, your Facebook page, your Instagram page, or some way that your website, or some way that people can find you after you tell us what it is that you do, so we know what we're looking for. So this is nice. Hakuna Twitter option kwa poll. Haya. Hakuna? Let me edit that. Actually, that's a nice one. Thank you for that. Twitter up and running. Yes, it's live. Nice. Thank you, Liz. Thank you for letting me know about Twitter. I've just added that to the poll. So I expect to see your response going up now. All right. This is going to be a fun section. I don't do anything like, say it's boring and you're going through this with your hands like this, and you're wondering, when is she gonna end this torture? When am I going to finish? No, we want to make it fun. It's engaging. It's a great way to network. So put your handle, tell us what you do in the comment section, so that you can network with people. There's probably somebody looking for something. Like McKenna, I know you do. McKenna, yes, pest control. I'm glad you put that. Pest control and fumigation. So McKenna does that. That's her business. And Jane, feminine health and beauty products. What is feminine health and beauty? Like feminine beauty? Okay, just you can see where I went. What does that mean? Please break it down. And then let me see who else is here. Diana. I am Diana. I'm a natural skincare startup made in Kenya, on Instagram. Akusi Organics. Akusi Organics. I'll check that out afterwards. All right. Then we have Lillian. Lillian, you're such a star. Lillian is really amazing. So Lillian she's a makeup artist and trainer at Liquor House, and she does makeup on Facebook. Oh, so we look for Liquor House on Facebook. So check her out. See whether, if you have something special coming up, if you want to learn how to look good in front of the Zoom camera, you want to talk to Lillian. So check her out. And Maureen, I run a cleaning and fumigation company. So we have two people who do fumigation here. So Maureen Maingi. Doreen, hi everyone. Hi Doreen. I run a corporate events management company, and I've also ventured into being a virtual assistant. Facebook, you're called Zabora. Zabora. Okay, I get it. Nice. So Lillian's put her number in case anybody wants to reach out. Chandi Musomi says, I invent chili sauces. So give us one of your recipes, like chili with coffee or chili with what? If you're going to invent, it has to be something I've not tried before. I'm a huge chili fan. So I could literally put chili in my coffee. That's why I said that. So yeah, check. It would be nice to know more about the chilies and tell us where we can find you. Julius, Tenda Soko, Margaret. I run an online liquor store and do deliveries in Thika. Nice. All the way from Thika. Yay. Welcome. All right. Catherine runs a baby shop. Excellence Baby Shop. She's put a link there, so check her out if you have a baby, if you're going for a shower. By the way, being in quarantine doesn't mean that when people give birth, they still don't need the clothes that we used to buy for them at the baby showers. So you could still buy something and have it delivered. So that's really cool. Fatuma, my favorite reflexologist and massage therapist. She's a star. Fatuma is amazing. I'm so glad to see you here, Fatuma. Becky does online clothing and accessories. Nice. So we're going to talk about how you can market those better on Facebook. And the plug KE. Nice. Okay. And let's see. We've got a financial and tax consultant, Micro Africa Consulting. We've got a WhatsApp group where you can give your business tax advice. He's put the link there so you can join the WhatsApp group. Mary sells baby and children's products and accessories, passionate about kids, and currently blogging. Nice. All right. I do part-time baking. That's Caroline. Jane has clarified. Feminine health. We deal with natural herbal products for women and beauty products for the face, e.g. acne creams. So if your skin's not that great, I used to suffer from acne years ago when I was growing up. It's funny that, for most people, when I say that, they look at my skin now and they're thinking, wait, what? There are no signs of that. I'm very lucky that I didn't scar, but it was very traumatic to have acne as an adult. So yeah, if you're suffering from that, it's a good place. Like, check out Jane's products. And Linda is a dental surgeon. So Linda is there. Yeah, you see these teeth, these pearly whites? Linda is my dentist. I'm so glad she's here. This is really good. She's the most gentle dentist. The kind of dentist, in fact, I always think of Linda like she's the kind of dentist who kids would probably enjoy going to the dentist. She's really gentle and really great. So so I love that you're here, Linda. I'm glad. I want your business to grow and for you to 10x it. And Motoni, our superstar Motoni. Motoni, I know what you do. I'm going to wait for you to introduce yourself. So put that. Yes, she is a star. Yes, Fatuma. Yes, I know you're saying that because we both know Fatuma. Motoni is in Senegal right now. So welcome. Greetings across the continent. We can't fly to you, but yes, we love you. And I'm glad that you're here and you can join us virtually, the virtual world. And let's see. We've got Cookie. She has a hair shop. We've got Chandi's Chili on Facebook. I'm going to check out your chili. Chandi, if your chili is not, you invent chili. I want to see what your inventions look like. I look forward to that. All right. So just so that we don't end up keeping everybody. Please, if you've just joined us, we are doing introductions in the chat section. We usually take this time in the beginning to do that so that we can network, find out what everybody does. People can pick contacts, check out different pages, because I'm going to be checking out a lot of these pages to also see what you've done so far with your business and your page. And yeah, and then we can begin. So just before we begin, check out the poll section just beneath your screen and answer the 2 questions there. So 1, have you ever paid for Facebook ads? 2, what media do you usually use to share most of your content? So is it Twitter? Is it YouTube? Do you do YouTube makeup tutorial kind of things? Are you more on Facebook? You have a clothing store, perhaps that's where you put most of your stuff, perhaps it's WhatsApp. Like, what do you usually use to promote your business currently? Pick the one that you most use. I know perhaps you use multiple, but just pick the one that you use more often than the others. All right, so we are beginning in a short while. I am seeing some really exciting stuff here. Bounce Back Academy, Yaya area, your stage confidence skills expert. Booyah, I like that. Joyce, it would be nice to know, is your academy for older people? Like, is it adult education or children? It would be good to know that. I think somebody else who's also looking would be interested in that. And Angela is a strategy consultant, leadership coach, FB coach consults. So that's how to find her. Hey, hi Shazia. All right, crumbs.ke from Nairobi, Kenya. Nice, that's how to find you. Okay, so if you haven't filled in the poll, because I can't see most of you have filled in the poll, there's still a few responses, and there are more people on this webinar than the responses that we're getting in the poll. So please, it's really great to see so that we can see which avenue gives you the best results. And I'm designing my content. I like to design content that gives you value. So I ask these poll questions because it also helps me understand your business better, the avenues you're using better, and to see whether, like, what else I should investigate so that I can give you more value, give you more content. So I see nobody does media like TV. If there's somebody here from media, that is really interesting because nobody has done media like above the line, which is media, newspaper, radio, outdoor advertising. No one's doing that right now. And right now it looks like Facebook's doing the best. More people are doing Facebook. Like actually half the people who filled in the post, almost half, are doing Facebook. And then there are a few more on Instagram, half of that, and WhatsApp. So please, share that feedback so that it helps me to develop future content, because even this webinar that we're doing today is based on the kind of feedback that I got from the poll, the kind of questions that I get on email, and questions from Facebook. So I decided I'm going to share with you what I have learned. So now let me begin. I'll start with the slides. Let me open my slides and then we can begin. So today's webinar is how to promote your business effectively on Facebook. And I'm Jackie Mwangi. I'll introduce myself. So we mentioned this. I already started with this. Introduce yourself. Questions in the poll section. I didn't mention that, so it's a good thing I put this slide. So if this is your first time joining us, there's a question section below, just next to the poll section, that same area. There's a question section where we separate questions from the chat. So at the end, I get to answer questions. But when you put them in the chat, because the chat moves really fast, sometimes I may not see them. That's why we separate them and put them in the question section, which is a really great way as well for those who are watching after us. If they want to watch the replay, they can see the point at which I answered your question, because it bookmarks that particular area where I've answered the question. So that's a great place to ask any questions that you have. Wait until, towards the end, so that, because some of the questions you may have, I may actually answer them as we go along. So speaking of going along, grab a notebook. If you don't have one, grab a notebook so that when you think about a question, you don't get lost and you don't forget it when it's time to ask questions. So it's great to have a notebook. My webinars, I love it when people take notes. Feel free, just write down, ask questions, and then I'll get to answer them in the end. So let's start with the first question. Why Facebook? This is why. Facebook's the biggest social media network worldwide, and it's got over 2.6 billion monthly active users. 2.6 billion. We can see why Zuckerberg is wealthy. You've got a network, like you own a space that has 2.6 billion active users each month. And this is from the first quarter of this year. I can imagine now that people have been more under quarantine that will go up, because that does not include data from this period. It doesn't include all the data from this period. So yeah, I'm sure that is going up in terms of monthly users, maybe even the number of users. And the number of users in Kenya is almost 9 million. So imagine a market where you don't have to go stand at the corner and display your products. You can display your products right at home, and you have the option of reaching 9 million users. Not to say that your ad will, you could reach 9 million users, but you'd have to spend a lot of money. But I'll show you as we go along. We'll talk a bit more about that. But imagine a market that has 9 million users. And this market you can access from the comfort of your home. That's why Facebook is one of the best online platforms for marketing. It's designed really well, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And that's the reason why I use Facebook, because it gives me results. It's a great channel to do that. So let me introduce myself. My name is Jackie Mwangi. If you know me, if you've met me in person, you know that I love to laugh, and I love to, I'm very enthusiastic, and sometimes people are always like, where do you get the energy? It's 6 o'clock in the evening. I'm like, I have energy until I drop and fall asleep. So that's me right there. One of the things I love about this picture is, I don't know whether anybody can tell. Can you tell? What's the first thing you see when you see this picture? Let me see in the chat section. What's the first thing you thought of? Hi, Esther. What's the first thing you thought of when you saw this picture? My eyebrows. All right. Thank you. Well, let me tell you a little bit of a story. Cookie, happy person. Thank you. Thank you. White teeth. Linda, you've got clients here. As a photographer, the joy on my face. Thank you, Joe. But the thing so let me tell you a story of why I put this picture here. So because I've been running ads, there are a lot of people who are tagging me and saying, hey, they're tagging a friend and saying, hey, I thought this was you. Hey, you look like this girl. Hey, you might be sisters. Hey, you're probably related or something. And every time, because it's nice to look at who is this I'm being tagged and being told I look like. So when I check out the person, I'm like, we all seem to have one thing in common. Our foreheads. So yes, I found the picture that has the best picture for my forehead that really does display my forehead. So I'm Jackie Mwangi. I'm a marketer at heart. I've been doing marketing for lots of years in East Africa, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. I've done it for corporate. I've done it for my business. The most effective way that I have seen I've been able to reach a larger audience is through Facebook. And with the ads that I've been putting out of late, some of you may have come because you've seen my ads before and I sent you the link to this, or some of you have known me before, some of you have worked with before. But one of the things that I have found to be really effective is Facebook. And once you know how to do it right, because I've done it wrong, I know the mistakes. I've spent money you shouldn't have to spend. That's why we're doing this, so that I can show you what some of those things are and how you can also get your marketing to be more effective and start to use that channel to present your products and services. You owe it to the world to tell us what you do. We could be looking for services like you. We could be looking for beauty services. We could be looking for a masseuse. We could be looking for healing in different ways. We could be looking for a dentist. So people, you owe it out there to your audience, to people, to show them, to tell them what you do really, and get them to experience your products and services, which I am assuming are the best. So this is one of the things we need to fight. Sometimes, like today I have so much so I'm gonna show my face. There we go. So that somebody coming in doesn't think that this is not live. This is live. So let me change this layout. How is this? Yeah, that's better. So obscurity. This is our word of the day. This is the thing we're going to be fighting. We're fighting being obscure, because I don't want, you've got a great business, you've got great products, you offer great services, but how will anybody know about you if you're obscure, if we don't know about you? So obscurity is a state of being unknown, inconspicuous, and unimportant. That's what we're going to fight today. That's why I'm doing this video, so that I can show you how not to be obscure. All right, so this is an overview of what we're going to go through. So for the next hour or so, these are the things that we're going to do. We're going to talk about assumptions, some of the assumptions that a lot of people make when they're doing their advertising, their posts and all that on Facebook, when you're promoting your business there, where to start. So if you haven't started, or if you've started and then you're listening to what I'm saying, where do we begin? Where do we kick off? How do you create content? And how do you feed Facebook in the right way? Because you have to feed Facebook. Zuckerberg's not a billionaire because he gives out stuff for charity. He gets you to pay to use his platform, to pay to show your products on his platform. Oh my goodness, I feel like I should have worn shades. That's sun, but it's okay. Anywho, it's vitamin D. Then we're going to talk about how not to get banned. I've gotten a number of questions around that. So people are always asking, or some people are asking, I've been banned, what do I do? My ads keep getting rejected. They're not approved, what do I do? And then we're going to talk about getting help. So what I want from you, my expectation is that at the end, you commit to at least 2 things, 2 ideas from today. You could do more, but I just want you to start with 2. So please commit that after this webinar, you'll make my work, all this work that I've put into this slide, setting up the webinar, getting everybody on board, that you will put this work to good use in your business. You will apply 2 of the ideas. I don't want this to be just one of those webinars that you show up and you're like, and then, next week, your business is still the same, nothing's changed, nothing's improved, you've not applied anything. I know there's a lot that I'm going to share, and you may not be able to do everything. It took me a lot of time before I did everything. So forgive yourself for that. It takes a while, but at least commit to just 2 ideas that you're going to pick from today, and you're going to apply them in your business. Do I have a high five on that? Do I have your commitment on that? Kanye, I see you've joined us. Becky, yes. Lillian, 9. You can tell the people who've been at my webinars. They yes. Chandy, awesome. I see yeses. I am happy. I see yeses, which means that we're ready. I'm ready now to share, because I know I'm not just sharing and it's going into a black hole. I know I'm sharing, and these ideas are going to be spread and they're going to be used to benefit your business. That's what we want. Yes, Rosemary. Yes, Brenda. Awesome. All right, let's start with assumptions. So first of all, the reason I used Red Bull is because, not that I like to drink Red Bull, but there's a very interesting story about Red Bull. So Red Bull is a marketing success. When Red Bull was being designed, when it was being created, imagine being in a room where you're coming up with Red Bull and you say, hey, we need to come up with something that will give Coke a run for their money. And of course, people are thinking, yeah, we need to come up with something that tastes better than Coke. We need to come up with something that sells cheaper than Coke. We need to sell more, probably like, well, Coke is packaging 1 liter, we're packaging 1.25 kind of thing. That's where everybody goes. But the beauty about marketing, and this is why I love marketing so much, is because there's a lot of psychology that goes into marketing. So the designers of Red Bull, think about this. They do the exact opposite. They make a product that tastes worse than Coke. And I'm not kidding. When they did the initial tests, and guess what people said about their product? The initial tests said people's feedback was, you wouldn't pay me to drink that stuff. And I use stuff like the rated version. Others said that it tastes like piss. Others said that it's the most disgusting thing. It's got a bad aftertaste. They said all these things. So guess what? So they come up with this product that people hate the taste of, that is in a smaller can than Coke. So they're selling less. And how much is this thing? It's usually like in Kenya, it's about 200 bob, I think. That's the last time. It could be more because I think the last time I remember was about 200, 250, maybe 300. Depending on where you're buying it, you could even be buying it for 500 shillings. But it's more expensive than a Coke by far. And it's less. And it tastes worse. This is a marketing success. A lot of people make assumptions. One of the assumptions are things like your post. Once you post, your post will be seen by everybody who follows you. Not the case. I'll show you why. That you're paying Facebook. So why aren't they giving you the traffic you expect? If you're paying them, why aren't you getting the results? Why aren't they showing your ad to everybody? Yep, that's an assumption. That you should post 1 to 3 times a day. A lot of people think that the more, like, I need to be, out there all the time, posting often, posting like, putting out all this content because it's about quantity, not quality. No, it's actually the other way around. And then they're thinking, oh, I should be everywhere. I should be on, now there's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, what else? All these channels that are out there that you should be posting on all of them, that YouTube, that you should be doing YouTube videos, and you should be on Twitter every day, like 3 times a day. You should be posting all these things. Nah. That you have to be good at doing social media personally in order for you to be good at doing it as a business. Wait a minute. Is my screen getting hot? Sorry. It's because it's facing the sun, so I can hear the screen. I can see my screen is getting a bit hot. So let me just change angles. Wait. Okay, sorry about that. So another thing that you have to be good at doing Facebook personally in order for you to do it for business. You know what? I'm actually wondering whether this sun is going to, because my laptop is actually hot. Yeah, okay. Anyway, let's go. I hope it doesn't shut down. Well, it can't, it's a Mac. So yeah, joke. And that your personal profile and your business profile are 2 different things, that you can post all the garbage on your personal profile and then keep your business professional, and that those 2 things are 2 different entities. Those are assumptions people make. So let's talk about starting. Where do you start? What do you do? I started with the myths. Yes, that's what everybody thinks. I'll show you why that's not true. So first, if you don't have one, set up a business page. Set up a page, not your personal page, because this is how it works. If you set up a personal page, people have to ask for permission to become your friend. And if you're selling something that you want more people to find out about, then you kind of want to leave that open so that people can just follow you based on their interest. Second, you can use the page to advertise, the business page. You can't use a personal page to advertise. When you do a group, again, it's one of those things. People have to ask to join the group, or they can join automatically, but groups won't have the same effect because, won't have the same effect as a business page. So set up a business page. If you don't have one, set one up. It's a great place for your customers to also give you reviews, find out where you are, get contacts, book appointments, stuff like that. So set up a business page. It's good for you. It will do you good. Some people are here, like, oh, yes, I have a personal page. I have a personal page, but not a business page. And I post to my audience. First, they won't all see. Just because they're all your friends doesn't mean when you share something, they all see. They see it. Yeah, I'll get to that point. Let me not preempt. All right. And then, yeah, you know what I'm thinking? Just give me a minute. I need to close that drape so that the sun's not like in my face. 1 minute. But in the meantime, you can still hear me. So clean up your profile. Clean up your personal profile, your business profile. You don't want anything in there that you don't want people to see, that you don't want, that you wouldn't want your customers to see, including your personal profile. Yay, okay. I think that's better. All right. Yeah, so now I'm the only one getting sun because my laptop's getting hot and I don't want it to go off when we're in the midst of this. All right. Yeah, so clean up your business profile, your personal profile. So the thing is, they're not two separate entities. You and your business are the same thing. If you're a business owner, your business is you. So if you have a personal account, hold on, that is protected and you're feeling that, yeah, there. Okay, I have a light there so that in case the sun comes down, you're still able to see me. So if your personal profile, let's say you've got an Instagram account that's yours and it's locked, and you've got a Facebook page, you think the two of them are different. No, they're not. The lines between business and personal have blurred when your customers want to connect with you. So if you have pictures that you'd rather they don't see, delete them, hide them from your timeline. You don't want anything in there that's just, like, keep that stuff offline. The internet never forgets. And even if your account is private, you'll want your friends to start recommending, to start seeing you as the kind of person they can recommend, not the kind of person who's drunk every Friday, passed out and taking selfies in the club with, all that stuff. You don't want that. And really, again, the internet never forgets. And people can find out. People get interviewed and their profiles are the ones sometimes that get them to not get the job. So you want to keep your online presence clean. I would say that you want to keep your life clean, but if it's not possible, avoid putting that evidence on social media. And build your following. That's another thing. Build your following first. A new account or one without many followers won't get much traffic. When you start to advertise and you don't have much activity happening on your page, Facebook makes the assumption that you're not a very interesting person, so why should they show your ad to people? And they're more interested in people not logging off. Because if you can imagine, if think about how we watch TV. Before Netflix and stuff like that, you'd be watching a TV channel. And as you're watching, ads come up. What happens? That's when you go to the loo, you go to the kitchen, you start doing things, you're on your phone, because you're trying to occupy that time when the ad goes through. Nobody sits there staring at ads, like waiting for one ad to go and another ad to go, unless they're doing research. But most people, as soon as those ads come, they're doing other things, unless something catches their attention. So if your account doesn't have many followers, then Facebook makes the assumption that you're a boring person, you've got boring content, they don't give you that much traffic, and you want them to give you traffic. Another thing, pick your niche. Pick your niche. I cannot emphasize this more, so I put a picture of a dark guy in a yellow jacket to get your attention so that you never forget this part. This is so important. You need to see this guy's face anytime you're thinking of being everything to everyone. What problem are you solving for your niche? Think about it. If you're trying to be everything for everybody, then you're not solving anyone's problem. So how do you even explain to anyone what exactly you do in a way that they can understand? Because, sometimes, and I'm beginning to realize that this is one of the secrets to successful companies, because I've been doing a lot of meetings and engagements with business owners. And some of you here, I know I've talked to you. And the thing that I'm beginning to notice that's a trend is the business owners that I'm having a better time working with, getting results for, are people who understand their niche. They picked a niche, they got to know them, they don't try to supply to everybody. They're not trying to do high end and then low end, and at the same time, everybody in between. They won't send me an application form that says, my target is everybody from 18 to 62. I'm thinking, wait, what? Everybody from 18 to 62 should buy your product? Nah, that's not how it works, especially in the beginning. Even products that we now know are drunk, eaten, consumed, used by everybody between 18 and 90, even those products, they didn't start out that way. They started by picking a niche. So pick a niche. What problem are you solving for them? Because that will also help in how you do your content. So now let's talk about your content. Talk to your niche. Again, I can't emphasize this point enough. Talk to your niche, not to everybody. And don't be a jack of all trades. Again, this is something that I see. You have a bakery, you have a salon, you do management consulting, you do accounting. Like, that business is going to burn you out. You probably don't even enjoy what you do, and you're not good at everything, for sure. So if you're doing all these things, you're going to burn out, and you're not going to make anybody remember you. They're going to buy once and that's it, because there's nothing that you do really well. And then on top of that, it's just going to be frustrating. So don't be a jack of all trades. Showcase your area of specialty. Even if you have multiple products, even if you're, let's say, an accountant, but you offer tax advice and you offer bookkeeping services, and you do both of them really well, pick the one that you do really, really well, like your real specialty, the thing that you would retire doing, the thing that you would do for free, and the thing that a lot of people mostly come to you for. That's the thing that you want to pick. So pick that to showcase, so that you develop content around it, you develop your ads around it. Thank you, Lillian. All right. Create engaging content on your page, not just sales stuff. When you just create stuff, you're selling something, that's the only thing that you're creating. Let's say you have a baby shop. Like, I've just seen somebody who in the chat said she's got a baby shop. So she sells items for babies, but the only time she updates her page is when she's selling something. So let's say she's got an offer or she's got this, and that's the only time that you see any activity. You stop being an interesting page to go to unless people are looking to buy something at that particular time, and you're probably not the first person who's going to come to their mind. So you want to create engaging content so that people can come to you and perhaps look for things around babies. Like, how do you pick the best size? How do you shop for a newborn, a new mom? How do you shop for a first-time mom? How, if you're a mom and you're shopping for yourself, how many sizes up do you buy? How do you, like, what kind of advice? Things that your customers would get answers to when they come to your store. That's how you develop your content. And sometimes some of those are really great ideas to pick from. What are your frequently asked questions? As I mentioned, I started this webinar. I had this idea for this webinar because of the questions that I was getting. So I was getting a lot of questions around how do you promote your business effectively? And I thought, okay, I could share some tips that I've learned. So you're the ones who gave me this idea. And based on the audience, like we're a full house. This is the best attended webinar that we've had. I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, wow, this is really great. So get your customers to help you develop content from frequently asked questions, from questions that you know they may have when you buy the first time. What questions may you have before you make the purchase, after you make the purchase? That's how you develop your content. And you give your customers value before asking for the sale. All right. So pushing slow movers is like having a shop display where you display all the stuff that's not selling on the display. No one will know that there's better stuff inside. So push what you know, like the best items. Those are the ones that you want on your shop front. So those are the things that you really showcase. And again, it goes around your specialty. And then share how your products have helped others and how it will help the person who's looking at the post. That's a great way. If you can get a testimony from people who you've worked with, that's a really great way to create your content. So technically, your customers are actually the ones who are helping you create the content that will then get more customers to see your page, get interested in your blog, and start looking for new things that they can buy from your website. So, all right. And this is another one that, again, be very clear in your message. Don't be smart. You know those messages, those ads that somebody was trying to be smart, maybe they were trying to rhyme, and then now it's not so clear. So don't be smart. And if you're going to be funny, show it to a couple of people, at least 5 people. Show them and see whether they don't look at you and say, uh-huh. And you're thinking, yeah, that was a punchline. Oh, but how? Yeah, it's a great way. Like once that happens, you just go back to the drawing board. So I see Joyce agrees. Tell me if I'm making sense. Tell me in the chat section whether this makes sense for you. And David says, on a serious note, the idea about crowdsourcing your services, product choice from your customers is very true. He's seen it working. Awesome, David Moravi. I'm glad you could join us. You should introduce yourself. Yes, you should tell us what you do, David, in the chat section. But first, I would like to hear from what I'm sharing with you. Does this make sense? Have you, does it, just let me know if it's yes, if it's maybe, if it's, I'm not sure. If it's no, just put that in the chat section. Then I can make sure that I'm giving you value, because I'm all about value, and I'm about giving you the right content and the right information. 150% yes. Awesome. Currently checking my bios. Chandi, before you check your bios, finish this webinar. But yes, honestly, delete. I see a lot of business owners doing that. Like they've got pictures they don't want people to see. Just delete that stuff. Create a list. If on Facebook has this thing called lists, which is really great. You can create a list and put people in different lists. So your drunken night pictures can be friends, a close friends list, and your business list doesn't see what you're posting there. So you can create a list if you still want to put that evidence out there, even if I really would not recommend that you're publishing stuff that you wouldn't want your mother to see online. All right. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. I can see in the chat section. I'm glad I'm making sense for you. I'm really happy to hear that. And this is the world we live in of emojis. Don't use too many emojis. I know people love to use emojis, emoji overkill, caps, exclamation marks, like all those things. Just kill them. Those are amateur moves. When you see a post that's like sale, caps, exclamation mark, 15 emojis or 5 to go with the 5 exclamation marks. Nah, that stuff's tacky. You don't want that. You're building a brand. We're putting you out there in a good way. Can you imagine if you showed up at a party dressed like the Joker with like a microphone screaming exclamation marks? Who would want to hang out with you? and then come up with different headlines. So this is something that I've tested before and I found to work for me. This is like one of the first things I started doing when, moving that now that the sun is kind of gentler. This is one of the things that I remember reading about this and I was like, oh man, I have to come up with different headlines. And the guy who I read it from was saying, you have to come up with at least 5 headlines. And then at the end, he said, if your post is not worth you taking an extra 10 minutes to come up with 5 different headlines, then you should not be posting it. And now I'm like, okay. So even the headline for this webinar, the name for the webinar, I came up with different options because I was like, now it's becoming a habit where every time if I'm going to share something, I'm thinking, okay, headline, subject, come up with, you're doing an ad, what's the headline? What are you going to put there as the headline? If you just come up with one, sale, or baby clothes for sale, or like do a bit of research, see what works, come up with different headlines, see what will catch people's attention. Ask the same way you ask whether your joke is funny. Ask a couple of people, ask them whether your headline is like, which headline do they prefer, which one makes sense, stuff like that. Because your headline is your shop window, it's like a sign on your shop window. If you have a tacky sign that doesn't look good, that doesn't communicate what you do, then you're wasting your energy. And I don't want you to waste your energy. We're here so that we can make you efficient in the way you communicate on Facebook. So you don't want all that hard work to go to waste because you had a really good post with really good pictures, but as soon as somebody looked at the headline, they're like, not for me, don't understand. Yeah. So test at least 2. I do 5, sometimes more, depending, especially when I'm doing a paid post. Then I go to town. Like I write headlines, like a whole list. Then I pick, then I sleep over it. Then I come back tomorrow. Then I think about it. Then I test. Yeah, that's how much. I mean, I'm not going to spend my money in a careless way. So if I'm going to spend my money on Facebook, I want it to work for me. And I'm guessing that's why you're here. You want your money to work for you too. All right. When it comes to images, use images people can relate to, not those Shutterstock images that we know you bought that are not, people can't relate to them and they look too sterile. So avoid those. Pick actual images of what you're selling or people who are using what you're selling, those kind of images that people can relate to. And then learn proper copywriting. Voila, let me tell you. Messages that are cliche, robotic, they lack copywriting know-how. Oh my goodness, they miss the mark more often than not. And they miss the mark at your expense, whether in time or money. Copywriting is a skill you want to build on. So, this is something that I teach as well. Like, I'll tell you if, at the end, if you're interested in finding out more about the program I run, but copywriting is so key. And copywriting starts with your niche. You have to know your niche. You have to understand your niche. You have to know how they think. Then copyright, you practice this quite a bit to get it, but it becomes so enjoyable because you actually start to enjoy reading what you're writing. It's like cooking, if you like cooking, you like cooking as well because you enjoy eating your own food. So it's the same thing. You're cooking, you're doing copywriting, you're reading your message and you're laughing. Like you wrote it, but it's entertaining even to you. So you'll start to enjoy it even more as a result. And this is something that I'll ask. Be patient with yourself. You may not get it the first time, but when you observe, like you see what's working, what's not working, you learn and you correct, you'll figure it out eventually. So be patient with yourself. Don't beat yourself over your head because you responded in a not so great way to a customer. It's okay. Some of these things happen. When your work is attacked, you may feel, oh, why? and say something in the heat of the moment. Maybe you're sharing posts and you're not getting any activity on them. It takes time to build these things up. I didn't wake up one day and suddenly my Facebook page had over 6,000 followers now, and I get engaging content and people are now commenting. A lot of the times I just used to share stuff and crickets, like nothing, no activity, nothing happens. So be patient with yourself. These things take time. It will happen again. If you're watching looking for feedback, if you're looking to learn, if you're correcting and adjusting those knobs, you'll eventually come up with really great content. But you have to start. It's important that you start. Don't, and that's why I got you to commit in the beginning that you're going to pick at least 2 things from this webinar and apply them in your business. You have to start. Like, part of being patient means taking action, because a lot of the times people who are not patient with themselves will want everything to be perfect. Like, I fall in that category sometimes when it takes me longer to do something because I'm thinking, oh, it has to be perfect. Until one time I said, you know what? It's okay if it's imperfect. Let's just go. And that's the only way I've been able to even put out my content, put myself out there, to make my first YouTube video. Oh my goodness. I think that thing took like 6 months. Actually, I think a year. Because then when I was ready to do it, then I was like, oh, but I don't have lights. Oh, but I don't have this. Yeah. Be patient with yourself and start. It may not be perfect. You'll go fine tuning it. If you even watch like interviews with some of the people who are really good today, if you watch their interviews in the beginning, they weren't so good, but you'll get there. All right, this is something that I like to do. I have a swipe file on my desktop where when I see an ad that catches my attention, when I see something interesting, I like take a screenshot and dump it into this swipe file. So sometimes when I'm looking for inspiration, this is a place that I go. I go to this place and I can see what caught my attention, and I start to get ideas, and I start to see what actually catches the attention of people who are like me. So a swipe file is a great thing for you to have. And it could be a notebook. Perhaps you're a creative and you like to write down your ideas. A swipe file can be anything. If something catches your attention and perhaps you're thinking, that's an idea, write it down. But always keep a swipe file of stuff that you think about that catches your attention. Yeah, especially on the internet. Like, you see interesting ads and you're like, you'll not remember them tomorrow, trust me. Forget tomorrow. Like, if I ask you what you ate for lunch on Tuesday, it takes you a minute. So imagine seeing an ad that you had seen that caught your attention 2 months ago, and it's something that you can use today. You wouldn't remember it. So take a picture, screenshot, write it down, or something that will remind you, so that you can then use this to improve. All right. Feeding Facebook. This hungry monster, that smiling blue thing that just loves it, is a hungry beast. So let me tell you about it. So first thing you want to start with is you want to start with a goal. Set an objective. What do you want your ads to do? If you're going to spend money, now we're on the paid section. So now you've cleaned up your profile, your personal profile. You've cleaned up your business profile. You can remove old posts that don't work. So as you get better, you start to learn how to do things better. You can go into your old posts and start removing the ones that don't work. Yes, you've grown, but you don't need to put all of them there. So you can, clean out those things and leave the stuff that's your shop front. So once you've done that, you've created your Facebook page, you've cleaned up all your profiles, you've done all the work that we've just talked about. Now you're ready. You're saying you've built your following, because if you have a Facebook page, as I mentioned, if you advertise without many, if you run ads on it without much of a following, you won't get that much traffic. So you've done all those things. You've gotten a following. You've been creating content. So there's activity on your page. Call your people. Call your peeps. Tell them, hey, Susan, I've posted something on Facebook. Could you like it? Tag somebody. Of course, if it's relevant to them. But get activity on your page, get people to follow you, send WhatsApp broadcast with your Facebook link for people to follow you. Like, do that work before. Get your following up. Because I don't want you to spend money on Facebook and the algorithm looks at you and they're like, yeah, that's not an interesting person. That's where the wallflowers hang out. Let's put them there. Where your cost per click becomes more expensive, where you don't get the traffic that you need. So do that groundwork that I've just talked about. Don't be like somebody who comes in and they're like, yeah, let's just get straight to it. I just want to know how to run Facebook ads. Jackie, I don't care about niches. That's marketing stuff. Just leave. All that stuff is important and it all ties together. Yeah. So set a goal, set an objective for your ads. And you know what you want, what you do. Okay. Yes. So what you do will cost you energy. So it's not free. Even all these things that you're creating, these free videos, the free content that you're going to be creating based on the FAQs from your customers, all this stuff will cost you in terms of energy and time that could be spent on something else. So what do you want all that to achieve? If it's money, on top of that, now we are on paid ads. So we're talking money. What kind of goal do you want? What kind of objective do you have for this? So yeah, that's, you want your time and money to be best spent. And a good way to set your goals is, how will you know when you've got it? So how will you know once your ads are successful? What kind of numbers are we looking at? What kind of sales are we looking at? What kind of engagement are we looking at? So you want to have a goal so that you can then measure against this goal and see whether you're on track or you're not on track, so that you know what to improve. Maybe you're thinking, oh, this one didn't get as much awareness as I was expecting. So you know that awareness is now an issue for you, or engagement. People are liking, but no one's buying, no one's inquiring and stuff like that. So you know what you now need to go for. All right. And then remember this, Facebook will not show your post to everybody who follows you because they need to get paid. So if you need to get results, Facebook needs to get paid. You know, like someone else that we know, that network, you can't make a call without airtime. So if you have a large budget, don't spend it all in the beginning. Test in the beginning. Spend. The best thing to do is when you start to run ads with not too small a budget that Facebook doesn't even look at you, but with in a moderate way, so that you're not busting all your money because you're thinking, I have this brilliant idea, I cleaned my profile, I have a great heading, I've tested it, I've asked my mom just loved it, I've done the copy, I love it, I've got this image that is, a customer, or I have this testimonial, I am going to put all my money behind it. Wait, set it up first, put some money behind it, and watch, because you'll do options, and I'll tell you why, but you'll do a number of options. Put your money, watch that basket. When you see an angle that's working really well, that's the one you pump more money into, not the untested one. So the first time, you don't want to go all out and just go like, it's like a guy who meets you the first time and he's like, I want to marry you. So remember, Facebook will not give you traffic just because you're paying for it. And you have to create something people want to engage with, something people want to share. Then Facebook will favor you more as a result. And this is Facebook's pecking order. You know the pecking order, like the hens, the king hen or the alpha hen gets to eat first. Yeah, that's the pecking order when it comes to Facebook. Facebook has a pecking order. The algorithm's pecking order is its audience or its users first. That's their priority. You as an advertiser, there you are. Little, you're important, but you're not as important as the audience. And you can see the proportion. Facebook cares about their audience and their users way more than they ever care about advertisers. So always remember that. And that's why they don't always just give you traffic because you're paying for it. If your stuff's not interesting, shareable, likable, your Facebook page has no followers, no activity, new page or new wish page, huh? They look at you and they're like, you're not an interesting person. I'll keep saying that. The algorithm just says, not interesting. No, move to somebody who's interesting. Because we want our users to Facebook. Listen to me talking like I'm talking on behalf of Facebook. No, I mean, they want their users to stay on their platform longer. And the same way I gave the example of the TV, when a TV ads come on and people leave, Facebook doesn't want that. So they're very protective about their people leaving. If they keep giving you uninteresting content and ads in between, you might leave. So that's why they don't really prioritize advertisers. They want to keep people on the platform longer. That's what they measure. And Facebook, if anybody remembers, there's a point at which they overhauled their platform. I think it was at the beginning of the year. And look at this, Facebook overhauls newsfeed in favor of meaningful social interactions. You all remember that. Actually, this was not this year. It was last year, if I'm not wrong. I should have put the date on this. But yeah, if look at what Zuckerberg said, newsfeed algorithm will deprioritize content shared by media and business in favor of that produced by friends and family. Yeah. If your posts are boring, no copywriting, Shutterstock image from a freshish account, you'll be deprioritized. And Facebook's algorithm is a polygamist. FYI, it likes options, it wants options. So when you just have one post, that does not it burns out. It actually gets, like, you literally watch it. Maybe it gives you traffic and then you just start to watch that go, wee. So yeah, I call it a polygamist. It wants, I'm convinced it's a guy. I know you can have polyandry, but yeah, I'm convinced Facebook's algorithm is a guy. So you have to treat it like a guy, if you know what I mean. The ladies in the house, track everything. So track your clicks, track your click-through rate. That's how much, how much the people who are seeing versus the ones who are actually clicking and engaging with your post. What does that look like? Track how much is costing you for each click, because the price varies and sometimes that can go off. Like, you can pick an audience that is costing you a lot more than you should be paying. So track that stuff so that you can see any of those red flags. Track what your customers are asking, frequently asked questions, because those will give you ideas for new content, and then you know what to also add into your ad. So perhaps you should be answering that question in the ads, that you don't have too many people asking the same questions over and over again, and they can just go to the call to action that you have instead of asking questions. And sales from the ads. Yes, sales from the ads, very important. It's not just about eyeballs. Eyeballs don't pay rent. You want eyeballs that will convert, eyeballs that will lead to sales. So track that stuff so that you know you're actually on track. And your ads will burn out. That's okay. That's normal. It happens to all of us. It's very hard to run an ad for a long period of time. And, one of the people, my coaches on running Facebook ads, because so in the process, I should have mentioned this when I was introducing myself, but I've been running Facebook ads for a while now. And when I started, I wasn't getting much traffic. Like, I wasn't getting much traction. I didn't know, are there any secrets? Are there any tricks to this? I just assumed, at some point I even assumed that perhaps that's just normal, right? But I then decided, okay, I need to learn from somebody. I need to get help. So I got myself a coach, and I got myself one of the best coaches, like one of the guys who, until today, this guy spends over $20 million on ads, on Facebook ads. I'm not kidding. Like, when this guy tells you this is how the algorithm works, you're like, yes, sir. You're not going to argue with him. This guy spends a ridiculous amount of money. He tracks everything. This is the guy who has taught me how to run my ads. And this is the stuff that I'm showing you. So this is really valuable stuff. But even his ads burn out. Like even he says, yeah, your ads will burn out over a while. It's very hard for ads to just run continuously for a very long period of time. They will burn out. What you want to do is to track so that you notice when the burnout is happening. And at the same time, you're testing new ideas because you're getting new ideas, you're testing new ideas. So the new ads that are doing well are going to make up for the burn rate of the ones that are not. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, and don't tamper. Oh, I need to. Sorry, my nose. I get excited sometimes and my nose is starting to run. Okay, so commercial break. Let's drink some water. I mentioned I have like lots of energy, right? Just in case you're wondering, what is it with Jackie? And all I drink is water. Like I love water. Ooh, I love water. So don't tamper with an ad that's running. Duplicate the ad and then change the duplicate. If the other one is not working, delete it, but don't tamper. Don't change. You're like, this image is not working. I made a mistake in the copy. So you edit a running ad, it will mess it up. It will go back into review and it will mess up the performance that you're already, if your ad is already going uphill, it will mess up the performance. If your ad is going downhill, that downhill trend will be carried forward to the changes you're making. So it won't make much of a difference. So change the ad, duplicate the ad, change the duplicate, run it afresh, delete the old ad. Again, I mentioned, be patient with yourself. Your ads won't be like fast ads, booyah, getting leads, getting the right traffic, doing really well, positive ROI. It's not always the case in the beginning. So you have to be patient with yourself. We all have to be patient with ourselves. Patience, the lesson of patience doesn't end. You know, if it's not in business, it's in parenting. If it's not in parenting, it's in being a spouse. Like the lesson of patience does not end. It's like, that's what is life about? Learning how to be patient. Be patient with yourself. And don't get banned. Don't get banned. Let me show you what happens. For every one disapproval, you need 10 approvals to make up for it. If you get one ad disapproved, figure out how to fix it before you try running the same ad or try running a similar ad, and then you get now a second one. And now you have to do 20 ads that are approved to make up for these ones. So make sure that you don't push ads that are being banned. Find out what could be wrong with your ads. And Facebook doesn't like things that sound, these are some of the reasons why people get banned. And remember, this is Zuckerberg's party, right? You know, this 2.6 billion people platform, it's his party. He gets to dictate who he wants to let in, who he wants to hang out with, and who will come back the next time. So don't get banned. And Facebook, these are some of the things. Facebook doesn't like empty promises, like get rich quick, lose weight fast without getting off your couch, unlimited wealth. They'll reject a lot of these ads. These are some of the things that I've seen people doing and their ads get rejected. And always remember that, as I said, they own the venue where the party is happening. And Facebook remembers accounts that misbehave. It has a memory. That's why you have to make up for any errors that you make. And eventually, if you keep making mistakes, they'll ban your account. You will not be able to use that account on Facebook again. So you just lost potential to reach 9 million users, some of whom are customers for your product. In Kenya, that is. So let me see. Do I still have you guys here? Or maybe I got disconnected and I didn't even realize. Are you guys still here? You're writing your questions. You're writing the things that you're going to apply after this. Just let me know in the chat section. Guy, there's no... Oh, sorry. I hadn't scrolled the chat. The chat was still seeing what. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I hadn't scrolled, so I wasn't seeing the latest chats. Lydia is laughing. Like, those emojis are the ones you want to avoid in the ads, but here it's safe. All right, Becky's busy. Still here, still here. All right, Wanjiro, good stuff. Jane, yes. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about getting help. And the assumption is, again, remember, a lot of people come to me and they tell me, yeah, but I'm not really good in social media. No one was born good in social media. Everybody learns. And running a business account and a personal account are two very different things. You can always learn. You can learn how to manage your Facebook page efficiently and run the best ads. You actually owe it to your business. Your marketing is too important for you to come and like dump it on Jackie and say, Jackie, you do this for me, and then I'll come back later when the business has grown. It's like giving your child to somebody to bring up, and then you come and pick them up when they're 18. Doesn't work that way. It's ideal that you put in the time and you get to learn how you're going to grow your business, at least in the beginning. Build that up. This is such an important part of your business that if you give it to somebody else, they won't treat it with the importance that you treat your business. And they don't know the things that you know about your business, about your customers. So you want to be the one to do it. You want to be the one to learn how to do it. And you can, another thing is find someone who's done it before for their business. Ask for help from someone who's done it before. You know, sometimes, remember like what I was telling you, I was running ads, they weren't working that well. So I kept thinking, yeah, maybe this is normal, but then I got help. I got my coach. And let me tell you, the amount of money I paid him in terms of value, definitely worth the value. But I had to pay. This is not somebody who you pay him he's spending over $20 million on Facebook. So you have to pay for him to train you and to teach you and to show you how it's done. So find somebody who's done it and they've done it for their business, because the stakes are high. You know, when you do it for a personal account, remember when we talked about setting objectives? When you do it for a personal account, your objectives tend to be things like likes, comments, like that's awesome because you're sharing what you had for breakfast. Yeah, and those are cool. But when you're doing it for a business, it's a whole different world. When you're doing it for a business, we're talking revenue. So you're doing it for a business, you're going to try and get people to buy your stuff. That's a different objective from just likes. So sometimes even the people who are very good at running personal accounts are not, it doesn't transfer into business. They may have a upper hand because they know how to do things and they're able to manipulate things faster, but it doesn't always translate what they do on their personal account into their business. So learn how to do it for your business. If you're going to ask for help from somebody who's done it for their business, because the stakes are high. When you do it for your business, the stakes are high because it's either up or down or you lose revenue. So that's the kind of person you want to get, somebody who actually has done it for their business, and ask that question or check. There are lots of resources, lots of blogs, YouTube videos, places where you can look for information and learn at least some things that can help you. But check whether this person is just, the kind of professor who's never run a fruit stand teaching you how to do business. You want somebody who's done it themselves. And, I commend you. I commend you because you're here. You're here to learn. You saw this post. You registered for this webinar. I'm really happy that you're here because it goes to show that you're actually the kind of person who's trying to improve, to do things better. And you've taken the time with me up until this point to do that. So I honestly commend you for this. This is a first positive step for you. So well done on getting to this point. Well done on registering for this webinar. Not everybody will register. A lot of people will be looking for an agency to outsource their marketing to. And perhaps with this information, you can do it for them. That's a business for you. Like, great. You know very well that it's ideally better if the owner of the business runs it, especially when it's a small business in the beginning. You could always give it up later, but once you've set up the strategy, once you've created your tone of voice, once you've picked your niche, you could always do that later. But it's so important that you do it for your business. So if somebody else who saw this post and decided it's not important and then is looking for an agency to do it, how do you even know what to measure them on? How do you even know when they are doing the right thing? Just because they got you lots of followers and likes, but those guys are not buying, and then it's better that you come yourself and you get to hear and you get to learn and you look for help and you look for resources and you look for other people who know. So I commend you for doing that. And remember, this is like training. This is like a gym. You have to train to win. You have to look for the knowledge. You have to test it. You have to do it. You have to improve. You have to look for help. You have to train. A lot of gyms, if you want the best results, you get a trainer, you get a personal trainer, because a personal trainer will walk with you step by step, help you be more efficient so that you avoid some of the mistakes that they've seen others making, they've made themselves, or they've learned better what not to do. So they're able to guide you in that direction. So definitely, if you're interested in because I do training as well, so to put it out there, I have a program, the 10x marketing program, where I train business owners on marketing, how to do their marketing, and we go into depth on what we've learned today. So here I've shared some tips with you, but I go into depth with these business owners and we do the work with them and I coach them through it and I show them all the tricks and all the back end stuff and click here. Like I literally walk with them. So if somebody is interested in that, please hit me up. I will say the email address that you get the notifications, Jackie@JackieMwangi. Just hit me up on that and then we'll have a chat around it. So yes, that was supposed to be the slide where I'm commending you. Well done for being here. Well done for taking up this training. Well done for allowing me to be your personal trainer for this period of time, this hour. It's been a great hour. And just so that, I'm so happy with the feedback that I'm getting. I'm seeing fantastic. You're most welcome. Oh, great time spent. Granville, thank you. Great time spent as well. And it gives me so much energy when I see that that you're benefiting and that you'll actually apply what you've learned today. Oh, I'm glad. Thank you, Mike. All right. And Rosemary and Becky, all of you. Diana, Esther. But just before, at Jamaliza, we still have a few minutes to go. Chandy, I can't wait to see your post. He says he's going to delete everything. That is so funny. All right. So just as a recap, we've talked about the assumptions that will strangle your efforts. So assumptions that Facebook will give you traffic. Assumptions that once you post, everybody who follows you will see your post. People who engage with you are more likely to see your posts, but not everybody will see your posts. You have to pay for everybody to see your post. And then, assumptions around you have to be good at doing it as a person, for yourself, in order for you to do it for your business. Those kind of assumptions. Yeah. So we've busted those myths. Then I've told you where to start creating your page. Use a page because then you can use it to advertise and you can build a following around a page. Great tool, free. Like Facebook is literally, it's a free media. Your customers are there. 9 million if you're looking at Kenya. If we add Tanzania, Uganda, like even larger audience. So you've got a great platform. Use it. Start, start doing the changes. Start cleaning your profile. Like Chandi, really happy to hear that. And then we've talked about feeding Facebook. We've talked about, Facebook is a business, but they prioritize their audience before advertisers. So we've talked about how to feed them in the right way. And then we've talked about getting banned. The Facebook memory stays, it doesn't go. So if you misbehave at the party, Zuckerberg decides who comes back and who doesn't, who gets traffic and who doesn't, who gets seen and who doesn't. So you set up your ads right, you get more traffic, more people who are in your niche because you picked your niche. Ooh, I should have, yes, one thing we covered is you have to pick your niche. Who are you talking to? Your niche, your area of specialty. That is what we want to portray, the best of you. You know, we don't want to portray like 100 things that you do. Jack of all trades, no, that won't work for you. Yes, and we've talked about, so on getting banned, what to avoid, some of the things that you should avoid, language that you should avoid to prevent getting banned. And then we've talked about getting help. And I've told you, get help from anyone. It doesn't have to be me, by the way. It can be anybody, as long as you're looking for help, as long as you're training. I want you to train so that you're not wasting your money on Facebook. You're not wasting your energy. That's time that you could be spending doing something else, hanging out with friends, watching Netflix, like reading a book, doing cooking, like doing something else. So I don't want you to waste those resources. So don't develop stuff that you're not very conversant with. If you don't know that much information, look for it. Get help. Get help from anybody. Get a coach. So, all right. So now I am, so how did you find it? I've seen some comments. Let me know how you found it. What are you going to? Okay, yes, that's the obscurity, what we're going to avoid. So what will you start with? What will you start? What are those two things that you've picked from today that you're thinking, I must do this? I know Chandy's one is cleaning up his profile. So tell me, if there are more than two, great. Just put them in the chat section. I want to see what you're going to apply after this. So just type out, I'm so happy. Oh, Esther, very informative. Fides. Nice. It's great. Okay. Create a business page. Granville, I'm glad to hear you said that. Create a business page. Everything doesn't have to be perfect in the beginning. You will refine it over time. As I said, even I didn't start great. I started procrastinating, doing YouTube videos. I started, I started exactly there. And then at some point I was like, okay, I'm not getting much traction or traffic. What do I do? Got a coach, got somebody to train with. So yeah, let me know what. Yes, Fatuma, set up a business page. You've got an free audience of 9 million. Even before you pay Facebook, you have an audience. Somebody could just be typing massage and then they find Fatuma's page. McKenna, learn proper copywriting. Yes, copywriting. Oh my goodness. Copywriting is what made David Ogilvy a multimillionaire. That guy's ads, if you just check David Ogilvy's ads, until today, like, he inspires me because he understood copywriting has a lot of psychology in it. And that's why when I teach it, I love to watch what you create in the beginning, like what you come to me and you tell me, yeah, this is my ad. And then what you become a master at the end of it. It's amazing. And I'm not the only one who's going to enjoy your copy. You're going to enjoy it. Your customers are going to enjoy it. You're going to actually see more traction in terms of getting the right attention. You're going to see better conversions when you do good copywriting. So yes, copywriting, McKenna, is a brilliant skill. Elizabeth, stop being boring. Stuck up, be fun and engaging. Good stuff. Lydia, be clear on your niche. Exactly. There's somebody I saw who asked how to pick their niche. I have a YouTube video that I did around picking your niche. So you could actually just check that out on either my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. Creative, track everything. Yes. And remember not to be on everything. Don't be the guy who's like everywhere. It's exhausting. You're trying to do research on your niche. You're trying to create content. So, some content takes different images or copy restrictions, like they're different. So now you have to create for different content for different platforms, and the different platforms you have to consider what niche, and then you have like you're gonna burn out. It's going to be exhausting. Pick what gives you the best results. That's the one that you want to go with. So yeah, Jane choose one product. Yes, choose your bestseller. Yeah, choose your bestseller and definitely work at feeding the polygamist. That's Grace. All right, so we have a bunch of questions. So let me go to the question section. If you hadn't filled in the poll, please fill in the poll. I see more people here than answers in the poll section. So please fill in the poll so that you can help me create content in the future for you. All right, so let me start answering the questions. And within, as I'm answering the questions, you'll get answers to some of the questions that you may have. So you want to stick around so that I can answer questions and you can continue to benefit, because I'll either describe it differently or add to what I have just presented. So yeah, you want to stick around. But for questions, I usually like my face. Yes, so what will you start with? Okay, so let me maximize that. Yeah, I use a very modern platform. I really like it because it's hassle-free, so it's really great. So Rebecca says, Jackie, your energy is infectious. I saw your ad on Instagram and wondering if the principles you'll share are also applicable on Instagram. Yes, they are. Same owners, thank goodness. You don't have to think too far. Same owners. The principles I do share also do apply on Instagram. You have to pick your niche, your messaging and all that. Yeah. Oh, Wanjiro is asking, what is copywriting? I'm going to give you homeworks that you do that homework for yourself. Look up David Ogilvy's ads for copywriting. But copywriting, just to give you a preview, because there's a lot about copywriting. It's pretty much just salesmanship in print. It's how to capture the attention of your audience in written form and begin to sell to them before they take action. So that's what copywriting is. And yes, I've given you a preview, but I would really like you to go deeper on that or get a coach around that, because it's a skill that you really want to develop. It will change your advertising, your marketing. It will change everything. Joe asks, hi, Jackie. I lost control of my Facebook page. It's still published, but I cannot access it as admin. Does it mean it does not appear under my pages? What can I do? So look around, find how you created it, like those email addresses, so that you can get access back, and forgot password, go through that process, because you want to have access to it. If you lost control about it, somebody else could be, your competitor could take over and start publishing stuff on your page that directs people from your page to their page. So you want to make sure that you do that. And you say it's still published, but you need to do the whole password forgot thing. Facebook's not very good at like a chat service or email, asking for help on email, unless you're an advertiser who's been given an account manager. So like I have an account manager because I advertise on Facebook a lot. So, and I also do learn from my account manager. So a lot of the stuff that I'm teaching you this is practical stuff that I'm giving you. And it also, in the program, we do go much deeper in the 10X marketing program. But yes, you want to get control, like get on top of that, Joe. And then Clinton Lagoon, that's an interesting name. What are some of the demerits of advertising with Facebook? So demerits of advertising with Facebook, it depends. I don't know why you would want to advertise if it's not the right platform. So yes, if it's not the right platform for your audience, then I guess that would be one of the demerits. I think another thing would be if you don't have, if you get banned, if you don't understand how it works, and then you get banned, because imagine once you get banned, you just have to recreate everything again. You have to open a new Facebook page, which means you can't use your old profile, because you know how you create a Facebook page. Oh yeah, let me mention that for some people, like I've seen Fatuma is setting up a Facebook page in Granville. You if you have a personal Facebook account, that's how you create a page. So you can't create a page afresh. You create a page that sits under your personal profile. So once you get banned, you can't create another page with that profile, because you've been banned and it's blacklisted you as the owner. So you can't create another page. So you have to create another Facebook account and then create another page, and then now use that new page to start advertising once you build traffic. So it's a lot of work. You want to kind of avoid that. So I would say that's a demerit of advertising on Facebook getting banned. All right, what's the best way of building a following? Good question, Angela Wainaina. So get people involved, get your friends, your family, your customers, share that. If you have like an email signature, share a link to like your Facebook page, share that on your Facebook status, not Facebook status, WhatsApp status. Yes, I was trying to remember that. Your WhatsApp status, both the status and the one, where you put the copy, the text about like who you are, maybe you're like just underneath the name. So you could put your Facebook page there so that people can check it out and follow you. You want to build that following organically first, and then you can also run a likes campaign on Facebook where they get you more likes. So you pay, and your objective for that one is just to get likes. So you create something that will get you likes. So it's not necessarily something, that is, you're not pitching, your objective changes. You're just looking for likes, and once you reach the number that you need, then you've got your following. Sheila, awesome. What metrics are important to track on Facebook? What of budget allocation? How do you deem yourself as successful? Loving the session. Thank you, Sheila. Those are really great questions. So first, what metrics are important? I listed earlier things like cost per, so clicks, you want to start with clicks. How many clicks are you getting? Like that's the engagement that you're getting. You want to look at click-through rate. So are people engaging a lot? Are they looking and engaging, or are they just looking and not engaging? So you want to look at how that looks like for your ads. You want to look at the cost per click, because you don't want that to go off. That could go there, that could shoot really high depending on things like, you could pick a country, or you could pick an audience that just takes it. Some audiences cost more to reach. If you set up your ads badly, you could end up paying a lot more than you really should. So cost per click is important. They used to have this thing called a relevance score, which was really good, because you could see how relevant your ad is, and the relevance score would help bring your cost per click down, because the more relevant your ads are, the cheaper it will cost them to be seen. Like the cheaper it's going to cost each click. So you want, again, creating engaging content also helps you spend less, spend a bit more efficiently. So so that's something that they took off. They split it into 3 metrics around engagement, like how engaging your ad is. But you can usually see that the click-through rate will probably tie into like how relevant your ad is now. And all these metrics are available. Like Facebook, you're not paying anybody. Facebook will provide you with this on their backend tracking. And then what budget? Budget depends on the results that you want. So it depends. It really does depend on the results. So in my program, I give a template where you feed in what results you want, and then you're able to see what kind of budget you should budget for those results. And this is based on stuff that I've done, like how much has it cost me? So in order for me to get this objective, then you need to spend this approximately. And then how do you deem yourself as successful? It depends on your objective. What are you looking for? If you're running a likes campaign, then you're successful when you reach the number of likes. If, like for me, I prefer tracking sales. So I'm successful if my ads are meeting the return on investment. How much I'm putting in is coming out in sales. That's what I would deem as successful, but it depends on what your objective is. Thank you for coming, Sheila. You're awesome. All right, Karibu. All right, Clinton asks, are there certain types of businesses that you would not recommend to engage in Facebook advertising? If you're thinking more B2B, B2C kind of thing, remember, even if you're talking to a corporate company, even if your client, let's say you've got fumigation services and you deal with people who own buildings or large companies, remember the person behind it, the decision maker, is still a human being. They're probably still on Facebook, looking at their friends' pictures and stuff their kids are posting. So it's, these days I don't even call it B2B, that's business to business or business to consumer. I look at it like person to person, because you want to reach the decision maker. So yeah, so it's, in terms of types of businesses, like if your decision maker is not on Facebook, then that's the type of business I would not recommend engaging. But again, even if let's say your decision maker is not there, but you could build interest in your business through Facebook, then you could use it for that. All right, Jackie, is it overkill to advertise my products on my personal page? I get more traction there, but I've wanted to separate. Either my business page is too boring, or my friends and followers are not interested when I post on my business page. Yeah, so if it's okay, here's the rule of thumb I usually say. If it's working for you, well and good. It may not be the normal, but if it's working for you, well and good. Build the interest in your products first, because your business page will be great, and you can always, once you've created your business page, you can always invite the people who follow you or who you're friends with to like your business page. So you can use that to grow your business page following. But if you're noticing that people are more interested in your products and engaging with you on your personal page, go for it. It's just that it doesn't create that avenue for other people who've never heard about you to find out about your products, but which is what the business page is useful for. You can have both. I have two. I have my personal page and I have my business page, and I tend to post my content on both pages. So you could do that as well. So you keep your business page growing and you get people who've never heard about you, not friends with you, and then you have your friends who are also engaging with you. So I hope that unstucks you, Jane. All right, from my experience, Wanjiro is asking, from my experience, is the Facebook platform, from your experience, is Facebook a platform that attracts users of all ages, or is it geared towards a particular demographic, e.g. over 30? In relation to your earlier pro tip on carving out your niche, I find that Facebook cuts across all different ages. I can't speak for people who are below 21 because there are things mushrooming that I may not be privy to that I don't know and I don't use that much. Like I tried using Snapchat and I was like, oh gosh, that's not for me. And then yes, there's TikTok. So yeah, there are things that mushroom all the time for people who are below 21. And I mean, I'm not saying these platforms are only for people below 21. I know a lot of people I have friends who use them. So I think Facebook, to answer your question, Facebook does cut across all demographics. It is the number one platform for a reason. It cuts across everyone. So what you have to do is just to find, if you're looking at people who are below the age of 30, then you can be able to set your ads so that it doesn't target people who are over that age, although it's limiting because sometimes you might assume that your product is good for people of a certain age, but then you find out the ones who are buying are not of that age you had assumed. So it's always good to leave it open, but it does cut across it does cut across all demographics. Like almost everybody is on Facebook. It's maybe they check infrequently, they don't check as regularly, they have different patterns of what they use Facebook for, but a lot of people, 9 million users, the others can't boast that. Active users, not just users. So yeah, and I'm glad you're listening about the niche. All right, Jackie Pauline asks, being a baker, I post my edible art cakes on Instagram and duplicate or send to Facebook. I find this monotonous and duplicate and boring. Should I create different content for Facebook and Instagram? So one, I would get, I like Hootsuite. So I would open up a Hootsuite account, check it out, hootsuite.com. Hootsuite allows you to post on multiple platforms with the same content. So that's a really good one. They only allow up to 3 with the free service. So it's really great if you're sharing the same thing across multiple. You're not having to sign, open this app, post, open this app, post. You can just post once and it goes across all of them. So I really like Hootsuite for that. But in terms of content, so sometimes what you post on Instagram may not get the same attention on another platform like LinkedIn. Like sometimes I notice the things that get me a lot of activity on LinkedIn are completely different from what gets me attention on Facebook. It's different users, different ways of engaging for different people. So it really depends. If you want to create different content for the different platforms, you can. But I would first start with making it less tedious to post duplicate posts, and then building your audience, building the value. That's the priority before you now start customizing content for each platform. What's your take on using influencers? Let me tell you, Taka. Taka, this question has been asked. I have had a number of meetings this week, and people go after using influencers to push your products. So here is my take on using influencers. These influencers, their reputation becomes your business's reputation. So if you don't know them very well, if they mess up next week and that association is with your brand, there you go. So influencers, when it comes to using somebody else, I prefer not to use an influencer. Make yourself an influencer, Taka. You know your product, you know your customers, you have something important to say. We want to hear it. Make yourself the influencer for your business because you can control that better. Another thing is you're going to pay an influencer to maybe post, and a number of the people who have brought this up have come to me telling me that influencers has not worked for them. Like they've tried to use an influencer and it's not working for them. And I'm like, yeah, you can use Facebook to build the traffic for you. You don't have to depend on somebody else. When you pay somebody else to then like push your ad and run your whatever, we can see that, you're probably paying them and it's not very effective. In fact, I read a study about product placement because influencers are, yeah, Joyce agrees. You see, Taka, Joyce agrees that make yourself the influencer. That's true. I read somewhere where, because influencers is related to product placement in movies. And most of the times it doesn't really work, apart from when it's really key to the plot of the movie. Like when you're watching, what was this movie, this action movie with Charlize Theron and the small cars, and the Mini Cooper, the speed, and they were driving and racing and stuff like that and going through tunnels in London and stuff. That was key to the plot of that movie. You see, I can remember the Mini Cooper. Italian Job. Thank you, Diana. And Joyce, Italian Job. It was key to the plot of the movie of Italian Job. So I can remember the Mini Cooper from that movie. And I thought it was cute and really fast. And it squeezes in anywhere and goes everywhere. So that's what I remember. But if they had just thrown in like a couple of Audis and then after that there's a Range Rover and then there's a Mini Cooper, I probably wouldn't remember it. So we tend to remember the things that are really key. So if you have an influencer who is like, they are known for using your product, like you weren't paying them before, but they were known for that, like it's key to their lifestyle, then perhaps it would work better. But if you're just getting them limited period, 3 months, you pay them, yeah, from the ones who've used influencers before, yeah, the return on investment is low. Beth says, I have multiple products that work best together. Health products, what can I do about that? Pick your niche, pick your area of specialty, and focus on that. If, like now, let's say Linda, who's a dentist, Linda doesn't just do one service. So Linda will clean your teeth, she'll put your braces, she'll fix a root canal, she'll probably do, some cosmetic stuff as well around that, maybe whiten your teeth and stuff like that and fill cavities. But when Linda is presenting herself, like all these different products, you don't come and say, hey, we do this, this, this. You confuse people. Pick the thing that you're really good at, pick the thing that grabs people's attention. And then after that, these other periphery services will come into play eventually, because people will come if they trust you to provide the health product, then they'll trust you to recommend another product that's associated to that. All right. Taka, you're welcome. I'm glad I could be of service. Thank you. Chandi, this isn't much of a question, more of a query. Have you noted that timing of posts really makes a difference on catching your audience? Yeah, I have noticed. That there are different times, especially. Yeah, I've noticed different times when my posts get more activities. So I've seen there's a lot of content around best times to post on the different media channels, but I do find most of it, or some of it, could be more foreign, because most of these studies are not really done in Kenya to that volume. So you find that a lot of the times they're talking about the American or the European market, which is a good place to start. It's better than zero, but I'm noticing things that are very different from what they share. So yeah, I have noticed that there's different times to share your post and you'll get different results. Fatuma says, from this webinar, I have just realized that I know absolutely nothing about Facebook. Tell me more about the Facebook payment story. I have absolutely no idea that people pay in order to advertise. Yes, that's why you're here, Fatuma. This is so great that you're looking for that knowledge. You identify that, yeah, I don't know anything, but hey, no one was born an expert, so let me look for the information. So I'm really happy that you're actually here. So we can talk more about that in depth. More about that at a different section, because there's a lot more that goes into it. Or you could check out the program, the 10X marketing program, where I show you step by step how to actually do this. And Gladwell, I've been receiving credit offers on my Facebook page from Facebook. What's your advice on this? Should I use the offer or decline? Gladwell, I need to know a bit more about this. Credit offer, okay, I'm not sure. But if it's coming directly from Facebook, like credit offer, if they're giving you credit, like they're giving you free money to spend on their platform, way to go, use it. Definitely, but make sure you follow what I've said. You pick your niche, you clean your account, make sure you do all those things before. So yeah, if they're giving you credit, definitely use it. But I haven't seen that happening in this country. I know it's happening in other countries, but I haven't seen that happening here yet. They haven't offered me yet. Good question. All right, Mercy asks, what's the cost of the program? It depends. We need to have a consultation first so that I can understand whether the program is actually a solution to what you're looking for and the type of business that you have and and what your needs are. Because the program is really like about getting you to the goal. So I need to understand whether that's the right platform, that's the right channel to get you to your goal. So hit me up, write to me, jackie@jackiemwangi.com, and then I'll be able to pick it up from there, and we can set up a session where we talk about your business. It's the kind of session where I just consult with you. We talk about your business. We talk about your goals. You tell me what's worked for you, what's not worked for you, what you want to achieve, and then we map how we're going to get you to your goal. So yes, I say, all right, Rebecca, I've been getting the credit offers as well, where they tell me the cost is 10 USD, but they say they give me 5, so I pay 5. Use this stuff. Like if you're getting these offers, then it's more urgent for you to clean up your profile, do all these things that we've talked about, and then start using these credit offers to boost your business. So that's really great. Let me know how that works. And I'm surprised they haven't been offering me, and I'm spending so much money on them. But it's great. If they're, in fact, I think they're trying to get people who've not been advertising to maybe advertise. So yeah, that's great. Use it to boost your business. Use it to maybe run a likes campaign so that you can get activities that when you do run more ads, your ads will get more traffic. And we have finished the questions. So yes, so we are done with the questions. So what I will do is I'll still ask you if I want you to commit. You know the reason why? Let me move that. So where have I gone? There I am. The reason why I'm asking you to commit in the chat section is also so that you can, like, you commit. Once you write it down and you put it out there, there's a higher chance that you'll actually do it. And it's nice for me as well to see what did you get out of this and what will you actually do. So that even when we're going to have a conversation with you afterwards, if you want to join the 10x marketing program, you and I, like, I'll hold you accountable. I'll ask you, you said you're going to do this, did you do it? So yeah, so put it in the chat section. If you haven't already, do that. But now we've pretty much come to the end of today's session, which I am so happy that you got to attend and you made the time and you're looking for help and I've been of value because you've told me I've been of value, and I'm really happy about that. So again, let me also put my website there. So you can check out my website. I have a 10x marketing I have some information on the 10x marketing program. So you can check it out. There's a brief video that I've made that you can access. You just put in your email address and get access to the training, to the brief training. Then after that, if that resonates with you, then let me put that there. If that resonates, I've just put it in the chat section. So if that resonates with, not if, the fact that you're here, this is great. It will resonate with you. Then go through the process, the qualification process, and then you and I can talk a bit more. Because the reason I pre-qualify is because we have this community of business owners, women in business primarily, and I want to make sure that the kind of content in the program, the kind of pretty much the content and what we're going to address within the program is in line with your goals, with what you want with your business. So I am not telling you that I'm going to sell you something or get you into a program and get you miracle results. Then I can't get you those results. That's not what I'm about. I'm interested in your results because that's what I'm here for. Like I've put this there so that you can start to improve how you use Facebook, both as an advertiser or just as a content provider, as a content creator. So I want you to get results. And that's really the most important things. Like you can also refer other people to me. So check out the link that I've just put in the chat section. That's jackimwangi.com/training. And then we can talk more, go through the program. It helps you set up a marketing consulting session with me. And then from there, we can talk more about your business. So yeah, without further ado, I see there are no more questions. We are going to end this session. I want to say, oh, Karibu. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, David. This is David refrains from using excessive emojicons. This is so great. I'm so glad that you got to stay with me until this point. Thank you so much. There are quite a number of you that are still here. I applaud you for staying this far, and I thank you for giving me your attention, for giving me your participation, your energy. You're the reason I'm so energetic, and it's the end of the day and the sun's gone down. So thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you, I guess, at the next one. I'll be in touch. Check out the training page that I just sent you, and then let me paste it again just in case somebody missed it. Thank you. Mike says I'm excellent. Oh, this is so cool. Yvonne, yes, Yvonne, I know you. I didn't know you were here. Oh, this is so cool to see you, Yvonne. All right, good stuff. So I've just put it in the chat section, and for now, I'll say goodbye. Ciao, adieu, and all those things that we learned in French. See you next time. Thank you.